Hey guys, Ducttapedigger here, making this episode for y'all to replace my previous Minecraft Factions tutorial episode on how to make floor defenses. So, obviously things have been updated, and also, let's just say it, the music was really loud. Y'all couldn't hear me. I could barely hear myself when I went and looked at the video again after I'd uploaded it. I know it's been a year or two, and really I need to make an update video. How do you make a video on what really you need to focus on at this point in Factions? Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I greatly apologize for that previous video. I know it's probably one of the worst videos I have out on my channel. Probably going to delete it after this comes out, and I hope y'all enjoy this. Anyways, see you in a second guys. Okay guys, here we are, and I thought I'd show you all the blocks that you need to build floor defenses for your base. Well, to be honest, you don't really need sponge, but you do need sponge layers under your base to catch the water unless you want to be really laggy. Theoretically, you don't need them, but it's highly suggested so you don't lag out. Also, these are the optional blocks. You got obby and endstone, and then lava, which is really for regen-based defenses. So I'm going to cover that in a separate video, but yeah, later. And really, the only point of obby and stone is like they have higher durability, which can be good. And I'll speak on that a little bit later in the video. Anyways, guys, see you in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and start the tutorial part. Okay, guys, here we are, and we're at Y100, which is probably about where you're gonna start your base. It really doesn't matter what height you start your base at, but I'd suggest starting in between the heights of 80 and 120, just so you have enough space, and so you can fit these floor defenses, what I'm going to talk about in a second. So let's say you want to have a, well, this is really for a really small base, but it's just for the tutorial. You probably want to make your base a little bigger than this, even if you're like, well, unless you're a one-man, this might be a decent-sized base for you. But if you're just going to be any decent-sized faction, you're going to want larger than an 11 by 11 base, which is what this is going to be. So here we go. We got an 11 by 11 base. Most servers, well, it actually depends on what server you're playing on, but the sponge radius can be different. Sometimes you can even one-shot sponge, like if you're in creative. Well, you're not in creative, but it'll be like if you're in creative because it just drops it. But yeah, too much information. We're gonna go up here. You want to probably go up about 5 blocks, and then you're gonna want to go 5 on the other side. Let's say that, and then since we're using world edit, that's just step 4, but y'all would hand place this and it'd be a full layer. Also, after you finish that, you're going to want to go ahead and, well, I just realized this, but we're probably going to want a sponge in the middle. You don't have to connect that all, and I'm sorry I'm talking really fast. I don't know why I am. Yeah, I don't know why. I'll slow down a little bit. Hopefully that can make it easier for y'all to understand. I feel like I'm talking extremely fast. It really doesn't matter how high you start it up, just the higher you start it, the better, sometimes, not always. But we're going to go ahead and set flowing water. Y'all would have to actually place this by hand, each like source block. I know it's a pain, but it's really worth it. You don't actually have to, but it's kind of suggested, or they can just, this floor defense is basically not here if you do that. But you don't theoretically have to. Also, in a further episode, I will go into like extending these floor defenses past where your base is gonna, let's say your base is right here. You're going to want to extend your floor defenses past this, but I'll talk about that in a future video. It's going to be a separate video, actually, from, like, advanced floor defense tutorial, because this is really just going to be for the casual factions player, maybe 10-man faction or less, I'd say, playing on whatever server you want to play on, and here we go. So, the main floor defense is actually called a flat, which is just this floor defense layer right here. It's just a plain old stack. All you do is you build a floor defense. You just build basically a layer of cobble under your base. Now, what you never want to do, never do this, is cap this off. If you cap this off, that's basically, even though you do have this water down here, if they just hybrid this one time, they can get right in your base. You don't ever want to do that. You want to leave the water flowing out like that. And also, just saying, when you're doing your water, please, this will probably, well, since you're watering from the top, it won't actually save you. I'm sorry for that voice card, by the way. Since you water from the top, this may or may not kill you, but you're going to want to place a block here, just so the water does flow into the corner. Hopefully it doesn't go down. Okay, that didn't go down. That's good. That's good. That might have lagged us. So, you're obviously going to want to fill this layer with water, because if not, you're not watering another layer of floor defense. You definitely don't want to do that either. There's other types of floor defenses, so what you want to do is, let's say you want to make the second type that I'd say is probably the second most used, probably the two I'm going to go over in this episode, is called a, like, what would you call it? A honeycomb, I guess? Yeah, that's probably what you'd call this. You want to build 2 floor defense, well, actually build 1. First of all, before you do anything, you're going to water. You're going to want to water this. So this is how I would usually water it, and go diagonally across, and then I'd fill these 2 corners. You're probably going to want to do the same thing, maybe a different process of watering. It really doesn't matter how you do it. Then you're going to want to go and break every other block like this. This allows for kind of a honeycomb effect, which can stop some amateur raiders from upwardsing you. Granted, it won't stop anyone that's like really knowledgeable in this topic on how to raid, but it will stop some people. Let's say novice raiders or medium raiders, because medium raiders can have words. Let's put that way. Now we're gonna want to go up and probably refill that. Now we make another layer on top of this. This layer, although, is going to be how do I put it? Alternated? I guess that'd be a good word. Instead of breaking the blocks right here, you're going to want to break the blocks right here. Although first, don't forget this, water it where it's going to be a pain in your bottom to water later. Whenever you are going back to watering this, you're going to have to water like every single block. I'd honestly rather refill it all and then re-break it to do this. Now you're going to want to break every other block, and what you want to ensure is that there's a block every other time. So how do I explain this? There's a hole here, there's a block here. There's a hole here, there's a block here. There's a block here, there's a hole here. Now, you can do this consecutively, like more than twice, but you're going to want to do it in sets of 2, and it's, I'd say mediumly effective. Really, as I said previously, will only stop some novice raiders or medium experienced raiders, but it can be effective. Especially if you do use Endstone or Obby for this, it can stop some raiders that may or may not know exactly what they're doing in this department. We're going to go ahead and place a block there. Let's say we want to place that with obsidian. We can do that. So if you want to do it like this, you can. This will be slightly more effective than the previous like cobble one, but it's really up to you. I do know that Obby's usually more expensive, and when you're building your base, you usually don't have too much money until after your base is built. So you may have to go back in and replace it, or you may just want to leave it how it is, since most people are pretty lazy like myself. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this tutorial. I'm going to have further tutorials on like more advanced floor defenses and extending your floor defenses, and even maybe a regen floor defense tutorial if y'all do want that. Probably have Louis do that with me, because he's a lot more knowledgeable in the regen department. Anyways, guys, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next factions tutorial episode. And I do apologize for the previous episode with like the horrible music that was louder than my voice. I really apologize. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoy.